Alright, welcome back to part 2 of game 2 of my video series on how to play Unfair and win. Now, we'll be playing as normal a game as possible this time. It's just a two-player game, but there will be no modifications, no game changer cards, no house rules, just two players and two themed decks that will look familiar if you watched my previous videos covering game 1. We'll be using the robots and the pirate themes. Now, there are relatively straightforward themes. Robot and pirate don't have any special rules involved, so they're a great way to help us develop valuable strategies that we can use in future games. Now, for this game, I'm going to attempt to have player 1 here, who's the starting player. Player 1 is going to adopt a cash-centric approach, where he tries to end the game with as much money as possible, because remember, $2 equals 1 victory point at the end of the game. It's a pretty valuable way to earn victory points. Player 2, on the other side of the board, will be instead doubling down on attraction size in the form of icons and trying to accomplish blueprints. Now, it'll be interesting to see whether player 1 or player 2 can manage to maintain these strategies throughout the game, or whether they'll be forced to adapt their strategies to the luck of the draw and the city cards. So without further ado, let's get into round 1 of game 2, part 2. Alright, so player 1 has the starting player token, so he'll be the one moving the location marker from the starting of the round tracker to the event draw spot. So both players are going to draw an event card, starting with the starting player. And then the starting player goes ahead and moves this here to the city event step. The starting player flips over the top card. Alright. Now, there we go. Alright. It says the festive season. You can see it's from the robot deck. Draw a park card. You may keep it or exchange it with a card from the market up to the same build price. And that reminds us that the starting player is going to need to go ahead and fill the market up with 6 cards in order to start the game. So the market always needs to be full before the players do anything. Alright, so here we go. We have 6 cards in the market. Of course, the starting player is going to follow these rules first, and it happens immediately because it doesn't say during a particular step. So the starting player, is going to go ahead and draw the first card. He can go ahead and keep it, as the instructions say on the city card, or exchange it with the card from the market up to the same build price. The build price is that coin value in the upper right-hand corner. So he can either keep the corkscrew item in his hand, or exchange it for a card that's worth 6 coins or less. So he has an in-kind loop, so you could exchange it for an in-kind loop. He could exchange it for lockers. He couldn't exchange it for a junior rank precedent, but he could exchange it for a staff member. Guest services, he couldn't do that because that's 7 coins. Now he needs to make a wise decision, so he's going to go ahead and look at the cards in his hand already. He already has a fast food restaurant. He already has a staff member. He has a splashdown element. He has a feature upgrade, another staff. So he has a lot of staff members in his hand, and he knows that if he doesn't get the staff member, there's a good chance that this player is going to get staff members. But remember, he's going with a cash-centric approach. This person gives him an extra star. That's going to help boost cash. This person doesn't give him stars, won't boost cash. And of course, this person doesn't cost much, but he's going to go ahead and take it because it also increases victory points at the end of the game. So he's going to go ahead and take that person and exchange it by placing that card right back there. Now, of course, player 2 needs to do the same thing, draw the top card. Here's player 2's. Ooh, wow, that's a very valuable card because it's 12 coin. That player could either keep this card or exchange it for anything else here. Remember, this player is going to be trying to make the biggest possible attractions that match the most number of blueprints. So this player here already has a flagpole, comfortable seating, an in-kind loop, already has a pirate theme, and a monorail. Well, he already has one pirate theme, so he's probably going to want to go ahead and put pirate themes on other attractions. So he's just going to go ahead and keep that card right there. Alright, so now that we followed the instructions there, the starting player moves the marker to the event play space. And of course, this player is going to go ahead and look at his event card. He can either build an upgrade in his hand immediately for free, which is useless because he doesn't have anything to upgrade yet. And he could keep this to block an injunction from affecting him. Obviously, he can't do anything because there are no injunctions being played yet, so he's going to go ahead and pass. Player 2 looks at his event card. Player 2 is going to go ahead and decide whether to choose a card from the market to put into his hand or to close a competitor's type of ride attraction. Player 1 doesn't have any attractions yet, So player 2 has no choice but to choose a card from the market and put it into his hand. Remember that player 2, if he plays that event card, is going to need to choose something from the marketplace. And these injunction events are valuable because injunction events actually close things in your park, and he's going to want to have the most possible value from his park. So he's probably going to want to go ahead and take that junior vice president and put it into his hand. He's going to go ahead and put that into his hand, but as a result, he has to discard this event card face up right there. Now, of course, the starting player needs to make sure to keep the marketplace full at all times, so needs to refill it with a new card from the park deck. Alright, now that both players have this player passes again, that player passes, both have passed. So now it is time to move the marker to the Park 1 step. Park 1 means that player needs to take one of those 5 different types of actions, which are listed here on the round summary. The player can either take a card from the market and put it into their hand. They can either draw 2 park cards, or 2 event cards, or 2 blueprint cards, keep 1 or none. They can discard a card to draw 5 park cards, keep 1 or none. Build a park card from their hand, build a park card directly from the marketplace, or showcase card. You can demolish or dismiss a card in the park, or gain a coin for each action. And there's a lot of different actions, but we've gone over them in the previous game, so it won't be that hard to decide. This player knows that in order to build things, he needs to have some sort of a goal, but he's not going to go with blueprints. He's going to use every action available to try to earn money. And this player here, our staff member, earns 5 coin every single round. So he's going to go ahead and pay the build price for this cast member right here for 6. So it'll start accruing money right away. He's going to pay the price. He's built that, and now it's this player's turn to do something. Now this player, remember, is going for largest possible attraction size. So this player is going to go ahead and do the blueprint action, draw 2 blueprints, and go ahead and take a look at what's available. This one requires a thrill ride with a guest services upgrade and a food outlet. And this one requires a food outlet with a pirate theme. Well, he already has pirate themes. It may not be too hard to go with the food outlet. Let's see if he has any thrill rides, though. We already know he has a monorail in his hand. Let's look at what his showcase cards. Now, these can only be built when you have at least 5 stars in your park. That's what it says down here at the bottom of your gate. It says you can have 5 total attractions. One of those could be super attraction, which is usually in this showcase deck. But super attractions require 5 stars before they can be built. So player 2 has a robot and a pirate super attraction, but you can only build one into your park at a time. Both of them are very expensive, but they also give you a lot of stars and a lot of icons. This one lets you keep upgrading your existing attraction. This one gives you extra coins for all the pirate theme icons that you have in your park. Now remember, we said that this player was going to try to maximize the number of icons. So this is probably going to be the most valuable. Even though he has pirate themes in his hand, he's probably going to go for getting value from icons, not getting value from money. So this player is probably going to go ahead and want to build the Mega Factory in the future. It's a thrill ride, so he's definitely going to want to go with the blueprint that has to do with the thrill ride. So he's going to probably go ahead and keep that blueprint and then discard that blueprint right there. Alright, so now starting player moves the marker to Park Step 2, and we start all over again. Now remember, this player still is trying to maximize money. This doesn't give him very many stars. He's going to need a bunch of stars at the end of the round. So he could either build a fast food restaurant or a cast member which give him stars. He could probably afford both in this entire game. So he's going to go ahead and build the android greeter or hire her for 3 coin. That's definitely from the robot deck. And now it's player 2's turn. Player 2, of course, is going to have to go ahead and decide what to do here. Player 2 is going to go ahead and try to start reaching enough star value to build his super attraction. So he's probably going to go ahead and pay that significant price to build a monorail. That'll give him quite a few stars, get him on his way. He's going to go ahead and build that right there for 17 coin. That's almost all of his money. That's 15 through all 3 of his 5s and 2 of his 1s. So now it's time for the starting player to move to Park Step 3. And starting player is going to go ahead and pay to build that fast food restaurant for 3 coin. So that, of course, requires some change. And starting player now passes the torch on to player number 2, who, of course, is going to want to go ahead and build either another star or an upgrade of some sort. Now, of course, this pirate theme, remember, we saw this in the previous game, it costs 12 to build, but you get 5 coin back when you build it, so it actually only costs 7 coin. Obviously, he can't afford that, so that's out of the question. Let's see what else is available. We have a 6 coin, can't build that because it costs 6. That one costs 8, can't build that. That costs 7, can't build that. We have another 12 coin, and that one costs 9 coins, so he can't build anything in his hand. The question is, should he draw, or should he build from the marketplace? Here we can see that for 3 coin you can get a restroom. But what he really wants is another star, so he could build a super attraction next turn. So this player is going to go ahead and draw 2 event cards and pick one, so he's a little bit more prepared for the next one. This lets you build an upgrade for free, which is powerful. And this one lets you keep all the cards you draw when you take an action. He's going to go ahead and keep this one because he needs to start adding stuff to his park. And of course, that one gets discarded because you can only keep 1 or none. Now, starting player moves past the park 4 step because nobody activated that to the guest step. Since he's the starting player, he gets his money first. He has 1, 2, 3 stars in his park. He has a guest capacity of 15, so he's perfectly fine. So he's going to go ahead and take 3 coin from the bank, put it in front of him. And then this cast member gains 5 coin, but he doesn't get to spend it. It just accumulates on his cast member until the end of the game. This staff member doesn't have anything that relates to coins other than the star. So we head over to player 2, add up his stars. He has 3, 4, so he goes ahead and gets 4 coin. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he doesn't have anything else that affects coinage, so he's done with the guest step as well. Now we move this to the cleanup phase. And remember, the cleanup phase has a very orderly set series of events. We have to first discard any pinned event cards, which we don't have any. Turn up any face-down park cards in our card, essentially any cast members who are on vacation, or any closed attractions, which we don't have any. Clear and refill the market. That's going to be all 6 of these cards, and that's the responsibility of the starting player. Nice. Alright, and then of course, finally, we're going to go ahead and have to discard down to 5 cards in hand before we advance to starting player marker. So this player has 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Remember, we only count event and park cards. We don't worry about the showcase cards or anything that's already in the park. So 4 cards were safe. Player 2, however, is in trouble because even though the blueprint cards don't count, the event cards do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He has 7 in his hand. He's going to need to get rid of 2 cards. Well, it's a no-brainer to get rid of the flagpole because this early in the game, the flagpole isn't much use. You're going to need that later, though, when you have a larger attraction. But he still has too many cards. He needs to get rid of another card, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. What can he do? Well, you want to get rid of either one that doesn't give him an extra icon or one that isn't worth much. Now, he might need to build that in the future. But he has 2 pirate themes. Does he really need 2 pirate themes? Maybe. He's going to probably build a thrill ride, though. So there's a good chance that he's probably going to get rid of the comfortable seating. Although that would give him an extra star. But so with the pirate theme, I think he's going to go ahead and get rid of the comfortable seating because that's pretty cheap. He could always buy it later. He's going to go ahead and put that right there. And now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. His blueprint card is probably best going up here next to his round summary card, next to his showcase card, so you can keep track of that in the future. Alright, and just like that, the starting player now moves the starting player marker to player 2, and player 2 is responsible for moving the marker back to the beginning of the round. We have now completed round 1, folks. That was a lightning round, but you can see how this player is already starting to follow his strategy. Kind of. And this player is already starting to follow his strategy. Kind of. It's going to be a little bit more obvious as we continue in round 2 in part 3 of our video series for game 2.